Hi, thanks for watching another Legado flyover in Menifee. So this is the overall arching plan. You can see mostly medium density households being built, a commercial tract, and a couple of basins with some open spaces on the northeast corner of the project. So I include links in the description of all of these flyovers, and it has the documents which list this in their planning. So this is the phases. So blue's first, pink's probably going to be second, and then green will probably be the last things that are built. And then if you also look in those documents, you can see a plot plan. So this is at the time of planning, about 2 or 3 years ago, how the lots were going to look. So here we go. Let's take off. And so, yes, you can hear the hammering, which we hear all day, Monday through Friday, and sometimes Saturdays. So at this point, we are looking towards the east, and this stretch where they're going to extend Rouse into Antelope. Antelope is the street you see there going from the left to the right across the middle. That is a north to south road. So Rouse is going to eventually connect with that. The two will stay together as it doglegs around the mountain to our left, and then they split off again a very short distance, a couple hundred yards up. Antelope will spring off to the left, continue a northerly approach, and Rouse continues towards the east. So this phase that we're looking at now really has almost no changes. The weeds there, you can see, have really enjoyed the rain that we've had lately. The grading is about the same. And if you've noticed, there's a little bit of gimbaling on this flight. So on this flight, I decided to fly in sport mode. Sport mode means instead of doing about 18 to 22 miles an hour, we're doing about 30, 32 miles an hour during this trip. And this is the point where I realized, oh, yeah, my battery life goes way down. So instead of getting about a half an hour or 20 minutes or so, somewhere in between, it was only showing me that I had about 6 minutes. So that would have been 6 minutes of 30-mile-an-hour flying. At this point, we are slowing down just a bit. And let me know in the comments if you like this faster pace of the flight as we go through, or if you prefer the slower. The slower, I'm doing about 18 miles an hour. And so if you've watched the last Legado videos, those are all primarily in normal mode, so it's a lot slower. The gimbal doesn't move as much, but it just, to me, it takes a little bit longer. Maybe you enjoy it, maybe you don't. So this stretch coming up is going to be the commercial. So this is coming up to the 215. McCall is to our left, and McCall Road is to our right, up towards the north. We're spinning around towards the north, viewing the mortuary there, and the mortuary has a new water feature behind it. Just kidding. That's just temporarily because of all the rain we've had. They have hooked up some external pumps with like a little generator looking thing right there where you can see it's kind of the most dense or the most amount of water. I'm not sure where that water's going. I think there's a under the freeway aqueduct or something that takes it away. So they're in the process of pumping that out. Obviously not in a huge hurry because we keep having rain, so it just keeps filling back up. And this, if you recall from the very first beginning of this video, these are where the homes are going to be built in that plot plan that I showed. So the plot plan was directly behind the mortuary. And as I mentioned, you can go into the plans and you can see this next stretch. So there's going to be a road right through here, through the middle. That's going to sort of dissect the project in half, if you will, as far as traveling. You've got a little basin there. And this section right here over the last 2 or 3 weeks is where they've been doing most of the work. And initially I was thinking maybe this was part of the third phase, but whenever I was just looking at the plans again in preparation for this flyover voiceover, I could see that that was not the case. This is still part of the first or second phase. So they've moved most of their construction vehicles over here to the north side of the project. A lot of the earth movers were loaded up on flatbed trucks and taken away. And if you look in the middle there, you can see the bulldozer moving the rocks around. And somewhere in that hot mess, actually it just scanned off to the left, is what's making all that noise. So it's got a big pneumatic, or I guess hydraulic, um, stick, if you will, and it just beats the rocks into smaller pieces, and then they move it away with the bulldozer or the other equipment. So that's what we get to hear all day, and it is awesome sauce, gotta tell you. So that's kind of it for the project. It's really what you're seeing on the screen right now. It's transitioned. They brought the dirt down quite a bit. They had a round racetrack of earth movers about 2 or 3 weeks ago that were scooping earth. It had a water truck that was watering it to cut down on the dust, and then a bulldozer that would help push the earth mover back up the hill as it came back around empty. So I don't know if it's not enough power, not enough traction, but for whatever reason, they always have that bulldozer like you see currently operating in the middle of the screen, sitting there at the bottom of the incline, ready to push the earth mover up to the top. It does its scooping, it takes the earth somewhere else. It looked to me like it was taking it somewhere kind of in the middle on the south side of the project. So not totally sure. So again, a lot less equipment, still a lot of noise, but it's not too bad. Anyway, with that, it's basically it. We've just flown the entire thing, and not a whole lot of movement. Just right there in the middle where you can see that break. There's kind of a berm where that road comes up and meets, and we'll fly back up to it so that you can get a little bit closer shot of what I'm describing. So right now, in the middle of the screen, so you can see that notch in the dirt, a pretty significant drop in the incline, if you will. And that's where they've really been doing the primary work. It's almost as if they're getting it ready to put in the sewer or some sort of main access right down what's now in the middle of the screen. So it'll be interesting. It kind of seems like they're kind of wrapping up all of the big things that need to be doing, and the equipment seems to be disappearing. So we're going to be swinging back around to the northeast side of it, and we're going to come in here in a few seconds for a seated hand grab landing. Don't try this at home. So now we're looking back towards the west, panning towards the south. That's McCall at the top of the screen, going from the left to the right. And it is a bit overcast, so video quality is probably not as best. Well, the video quality is the same as always. It's just the video itself is looking a little hazy. So it's not your computer. It's not the drone. It usually is sunny and clear, but not today. So with that, let's bring it on in. And there you go, another safe flight. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your time.